What's going on, everybody? David here from Bluckers Videos and Toys, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Owen Escape Pack. Now, I've had this pack for a little while now. I bought this back in 2022. I'm just now getting around to reviewing it, but it looks like a really cool set as far as what comes with it. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, there's probably going to be some spoilers throughout this review, but this set is pretty much based off the scene where Owen is riding the motorcycle throughout the city of Malta, trying to get away from the Atrociraptors and the Carnotaurs that comes in this pack. And so you get a lot of stuff for what you're paying for. So you get 3 dinosaurs, a vehicle, a human, and a couple accessories to go with Owen. So let's go ahead and take this thing out and take a closer look at it. Alright, so everything's out of its packaging. I apologize for the glare, but upon looking at everything, you're getting quite a bit for what you're paying for, like I mentioned earlier. Also, you get this cool little insert that comes inside the packaging where you can just pull it out and you can use it for fake photography or just as a display piece and put some of your dinosaurs on the for the background. And also, you know, the only thing that's probably the downside about using this as a for fake photography is that the fact set information stuff that's right there, that's on the upper part of the card back. But other than that, it's still relatively cool. I'm going to save it because I'm probably going to use it for display purposes only. But anyways, let's go ahead and start with Owen and then work our way to the dinosaurs. Alright, so we have Owen Grady with the motorcycle, and we'll start with the accessories. So here is the helmet that it comes with, and I must say that it's just your basic soft pliable plastic motorcycle helmet, and so it's just cast in the black plastic. You know, the detail is great and everything. It'd been kind of cool if they colored the visor part. I think that's the visor. No, it doesn't look like it. I think it's just a regular open face helmet without the visor. Oh wait, never mind. That is a visor. So you could tell that where the clip is for the face shield. So that would have been cool if this was articulated there. But if this is the visor, from what I can tell, it'd be kind of cool if it had a little bit of paint to kind of like show that it's like a glass shield or whatnot. But nonetheless, still cool. He doesn't wear this in the movie, by the way. So, and I think this is a reuse from another set a couple of years ago, probably a little longer. And so here is the next accessory that Owen comes with, and this is his utility knife, or utility tool as they say on the packaging. So nice little detail for such a small accessory. It'd been cool if the blade was painted silver. And for the next thing is the motorcycle. So I really do like this bike. I think it's a very cool accessory to include, especially if you're trying to capture that scene in a film. And so they did a very good job with the paint. Simple, not overly done. So, and the cool thing about this, not only does it articulate in the front, the wheels move just fine, and it has an articulated kickstand. So you can just move it any way you want it. You know, if you want to have them drive it, you can move it up. And if you want to park it, you'd be able to move it down. So that's really cool. And so as far as Owen himself, I think it's a very good figure. You know, it's basically the same reused from the previous lines that he's been featured in, especially from the Fallen Kingdom line. The only difference from the ones from the Fallen Kingdom line, which we'll bring out here in a little bit, is that this shirt is a little darker and the other one is a lot lighter. This hair is a lot darker this time around, and the face looks really good. You could tell that's Chris Pratt. The eyes look good, and as far as his beard goes, the beard and the shading looks good too. Normally, when it comes to figures with beards, usually they don't always get it right, because normally one side would be thicker than the other one and the other side would be like a little thinner. It's just weird. I know. That's why sometimes it's good to look at your figures before you purchase it to make sure it's got a clean paint job on the face, you know, especially with the beard. But the texturing of the jeans is a lot different, and you can tell that it's jeans, and you can tell that it's got that rough detail right there. So that's really cool. And the other thing that's different is that he has the sheath that's actually molded in to the figure, where you can actually slide the knife in, as compared to what it was before. There you go. And so as far as the way of articulation goes, the head can move side to side, up and down, because it's on a ball and hinge. The waist can go sideways. And as far as the arms go, they're on a ball and hinge as well, where you can go side to side, up and down, forwards and backwards. And the elbow is on a ball and hinge as well, so you got a single elbow with the swivel. And then the legs go all the way out. You can do the Van Damme splits. And then you can go forward like you're kicking, but you can't really go back because that part is hindering it from going all the way back. And then the knees are on a single hinge and ball swivel, so you can swivel back and forth, side to side. So that is your articulation for Owen. So let's go ahead and bring out a comparison. Alright, so we're going to be using the Owen from the ATV set that comes with the Draco Rex. And so we have the ATV vehicle to compare it with the motorcycle, and we got Owen compared to this Owen. So first things first, like I mentioned before, it's pretty much the same mold. But you can tell the difference as that this shirt is a lot lighter compared to this shirt. And as far as the face sculpt and hair, it's a lot different too as well. The hair is much lighter on this one. This is much darker. And you could tell that as far as the beard goes, you could tell that it's pretty clean. This one is, the beard on this figure is a lot more connected compared to this one. Has a little gap to it, so like right there. You know, on this side is all the way connected. This one's all the way connected, and this one has a little gap to it. It's not as big as this side, but you can tell there's a gap to it. So the arms and legs are the same, but the only difference is that, like I said, that the pants on this one has a lot more texturing compared to this one. Is a lot more smoother. So if you turn these around, here's where the big improvement is. The fact that this and this is totally different. Like I said, this is the sheath where you can actually pull the knife out and store it without losing it. And this one is just a little, it's got a little hole right there with a peg right there. So that's the difference between these two when it comes to their accessory. So let's go ahead and put this back down on here. And also the only thing that's different as well is that it didn't include the watch, you know, or the band on this arm. And as far as the helmet goes, even though this is a soft pliable plastic, you know, it can be a little hard to get on. So if you're willing to take the time to put this on, I would suggest to kind of like run this under some warm water, kind of loosen it up a little bit so it can be an easier fit. So there you go. Tell it's a little hard to take off too as well. Of course, I don't think anybody would be displaying their Owen figure with a helmet on. They probably would just have him either on the bike as is or just standing right next to it. Like I said, he wasn't wearing the helmet in the film. So as far as the vehicles go, here's the size comparison with the ATV and the motorcycle. So even though that wasn't a part of the film at all from the Fallen Kingdom line or any of them for that matter, but it's still cool that we still got another vehicle, and this is basically from the movie. So very good size. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the dinosaurs. Alright, first up is Pantera, one of the Atrociraptors out of 4. And a lot of people didn't like or don't like this mold. Some do, but most of them don't. I prefer to look at this not as a crouching position, but more like a running position. Simply flat because of how they ran throughout the movie. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool mold. It's different, you know, but I think most people will prefer them in their regular stance. But this is a very good figure as far as the molding goes and stuff. You see a lot of details been put in there as all their dinosaurs that they make. And so let's go ahead and do the scan code real quick. It's funny how they did the striping on the side, but you got this big old gap, and it does continue on to the tail a little bit. So you can tell this is a separate piece, as this is a little bit lighter colored than this. So the detail as far as the underbelly goes is really nice. It's got the wrinkling right there, and then you got the muscle texture right there on the legs. And then that crouching position with the dew claws up and everything. And then the arms slightly bent. It doesn't have a little gap right there. You can tell it's kind of fused in together a little bit right there. So it's got the texturing right there. And then on the other side, same thing. You know, they really brought out the muscle definition right here on this leg. And then with the calves and everything. And then the arm straightened out right there. And then love the texturing right there in the back of the head and neck. It's like it's that little wrinkled right there. And then as far as the eyes go, looks good right there. Looks good right there. So they did a real good job with the eyes on this one. And then as far as the jaw goes, there, got the gum, the wet gum look right there. And then in the jaw, inside the jaw as well with the tongue. So, looks good. So, a way of articulation is the tail can swivel all the way around. And then the legs go forward and backwards. Forwards and backwards. And then the arms go forward and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Well, not so much backwards, but mostly forward. And then the neck and head is on a ball and hinge right here, so you can rotate it all the way around like that. And then go up and down. Not so much down, but you can get a lot of upward movement like that. But you can't really go much down because of the way that's hindering right there. And then the jaw all the way like that. Alright. Let's do some size comparison. size comparisons. So we brought out another raptor that's crouching as well, and so you could tell they're in a similar stance but in a different way, pretty much mirror imaged. So like with this one, he's got the leg forward this way, he's got the leg forward this way, and that leg's back and that leg's back. So it's pretty much the opposite of each other, but in a different way. So you can tell right there, different, you know, as far as where the arms go too as well. Right there. Because like I mentioned before, that looks like he's actually really crouching and walking like that. This one, in my opinion, looks more like it's running, you know. Or you can use it as crouching too, just because of where the hand placement is. Alright, next up you got not Velociraptor, but you have the Atrociraptor Red. Now this is probably my favorite one out of all four of them, simply because of the fact that the way that it's detailed and the paint scheme and how it looks and everything. And it goes to show you that they actually really did spend some time painting him up. You could tell this is a separate piece right there, because you could tell that the main body is dipped in was molded out of red plastic, and this one's made out of this cream plastic right here, but the pattern was painted on. And here, like I said, it was molded out of red plastic, but the cream pattern, it was painted on as well, especially here on the legs right there. And then the head sculpt looks good. Now, you got to remember that these Atrociraptors are a lot different from Velociraptors. In real life, they're about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. And but they made these things like the size of Utah Raptors, so they're pretty big, you know, as far as the movie goes. Accuracy in real life, they're a lot smaller, way smaller, probably about the size of like a cat, small dog, you know. And as far as the head sculpt goes, it's a lot different as well, because this is more of a rounded snout, but it's got a deeper jaw, you know. So the jaw makes up for the snout. But anyways, so there's the eye placement right there for that one. And there is the eye placement for this one on this side. So this is very good. So it's very hard to, when you get these packs, that you can get good eye placements, because a lot of times, you know, one side is good and the other ones can be real terrible. But as far as articulation goes, you got the swivel at the tail like that, and then the legs move forward and backwards. The arms go forwards and backwards, and then the head and neck is on a ball. So over here you can't really look up. As for Pantera, you can look up, you know, but you can actually look down, but Pantera can't. So then the jaw opens up that wide. So the detailing is incredible, just like how Ghost was made, you know. It was pretty much the same mold, but just in different colored plastic and paint scheme. Right, so let's go ahead and bring out some comparisons. So we now finally have the full set of the Atrociraptors that were in the film. So we have Ghost, Red, Pantera, and Tiger. And for size comparison with the human, here is Sonia Santos. If she could stand. So now she's got all her raptors with her. So before I forget, here is the scan code, if I hadn't given it to y'all already. Alright, so the final dinosaur from this set is the Carnotaurus. Now, the figure is a lot smaller than what the actual dinosaur was in the movie. It was a lot bigger, but I guess they just wanted to go ahead and include it into the set because it does tie into it as far as the theme goes. But nonetheless, I'm glad that we got another Carnotaurus. This is a lot better, in my opinion, as far as figure-wise go. I do like all the other ones that we've gotten, but as far as accuracy and what the dinosaur is, with the exception of the arms, it's pretty good. Exactly what it's supposed to be, you know. Even though this is a lot on a smaller scale, we'll get to some size comparisons here in a bit. But as far as the sculpt goes, it looks wonderful. You know, dipped in this molded out of this real dark green plastic. I don't know why I stuttered there, but it's really cool though, as far as how it's supposed to be. Love how from the back of its neck all the way down to here into the tail, the scoots, and then it's got the paint scheme right here. Starts from the back, and then it just abruptly stops right there instead of continuing on at least halfway to the tail like all the other figures. But nonetheless, as far as detail goes, just amazing as always. You know, you could tell this thing has been through a lot. As far as, you know, you could tell where the scratch marks are, the scars are, and stuff like that. And so, really took the time to really put in all the detail and stuff, especially in the legs where that real deep muscle cut is right there. And, you know, if you know anything about Carnotaurs, you know, they don't have no use of their arms, but all their power comes through their hind legs. So, of course, the muscle is going to be a lot more deeper than usual. And so, as far as the paint goes, not the paint, but the articulation, you know, the tail is on a swivel right here. Legs go forward and backwards. There. And then the arms are on a ball and hinge where they go forward and out. You know, the arm should be at least that short, you know. And then as far as the head sculpt goes, the eye placement's good. Eye placement is a little wonky. It looks like he's a little googly eyed right there, but at least it's where it's supposed to be. And then I love how they had the broken horn right there. They should have painted that at least, you know. And then as far as articulation of the head and neck, it's on a ball and swivel. So it goes up and down. You can rotate it all the way around. And then the jaw's on a hinge. Doesn't flush all the way. It just kind of sits like that. But the odd thing is that the paint right there on that hinge, you know, they don't normally do that, so that's a little odd. Right, so let's go ahead and get to some comparisons. So the first size comparison that we got is with its partner in crime, the Allosaurus, because if you remember the movie, Rain Delacourt releases both of them at the same time. So he is a little bit on a smaller scale, so but, you know, it ties into the movie. Just wish he was a little bit bigger. And here we have it with a larger scale Carnotaurs. So if they really wanted to capitalize on that scene, they could have made at least this with the same color, same size, same mold, everything, into that bigger scale. As you can tell, like I said, I do like this mold a whole lot better compared to what they've done previously. So if they had did the exact same thing, but just blew it up about that size, that'd been so awesome. What an awesome pairing. That would have been so sweet. And before I forget, here is the scan code for the Carno if you want to have that. It also, during the articulation point, I forgot to mention that the inner thighs can go in and out, you know, so that way you have a little bit more stability, because pretty much all these dinosaurs that I've gotten far as all the Velociraptors and stuff in these box sets, the legs or feet are warped, so you kind of have to finagle it a little bit just to kind of get them to stand. But they will topple over. At least mine, from the ones I got. I don't know about y'all's, but at least from my standpoint, you know, their feet, or one of their feet is or foot is warped. So just to let y'all know. Well, I hope y'all guys enjoyed this review as much as I did reviewing it, and let me know in the comments below what you think of this set. You know, did you like the size comparisons and whatnot? What do you think of the comparisons between the two Owens? Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And don't forget, words of wisdom. Buy what you love and not what you like, because if you buy what you like, you always end up getting rid of it. And I will catch y'all later.